Why do documentaries make some of us suspicious? Of course, I'm not talking about nature documentaries. Everyone trusts David Attenborough after all. I'm referring to documentary film and television that tells us human stories. Whether it's true crime like the Netflix series Making a Murderer, or more political films like Super Size Me or Bowling for Columbine, our evaluation of a documentary will often depend on the degree to which we trust the filmmaker is an unbiased observer. Documentaries are non-fiction texts that aim to record reality, present facts, observe happenings. Broadly, there have been two schools of thought about how to approach making documentary film: interventionist and non-interventionist. Scottish filmmaker John Grierson is widely believed to have coined the term documentary, and he claimed that the art form was all about the creative treatment of actuality. This suggests an active filmmaker who records reality but arranges it in a creative way. Other filmmakers and critics argued for a more non-interventionist approach, to let the events unfold without comment or participation and with as little editing as possible. In the 60s, many documentarians from the direct cinema movement stuck to the principles of non-intervention, limiting editing or camera work that might distort the truth, attempting to let the subjects ignore the filmmaker's presence. But whether interventionist or non-interventionist, documentaries are more than just documenting things. When the true crime docuseries Making a Murderer debuted on Netflix in 2015, many commentators pointed out the show's bias towards Stephen Avery's innocence. Although much of the evidence and context supplied by the filmmakers suggested his innocence, there was plenty that was left out. Many of these complaints focus on the show not presenting the whole truth. But what is the whole truth with respect to documentaries? And why do we feel the need to view documentaries as media that needs to be unbiased? Is it because we get a sense that the filmmakers are trying to fool us, to trick us into believing what they believe about the nature of reality? It's quite strange that we don't ask these questions about other non-fiction genres. Consider opinion columns, or essays, or memoirs. We know that these forms express the author's perspective on an issue. So why do we think differently about documentaries? Well, perhaps we've been trained this way. The philosopher Paul Ricoeur might be of use here. He coined the phrase hermeneutics of suspicion to capture a common spirit in the writings of thinkers like Karl Marx, Sigmund Freud, and Friedrich Nietzsche. Much modern thought has been influenced by these three men, and that includes the way we think about art and media. The hermeneutics of suspicion is concerned with unmasking the lies and illusions of consciousness. Ricoeur claims that this way of looking at the world is a distinctly modern style of interpretation, and that it dispenses with obvious or self-evident meanings to draw out less visible, less flattering truths. But what's wrong with this style of thinking? Shouldn't we always be skeptical and doubtful? Well, it's a matter of degree. The hermeneutics of suspicion can be taken too far. Some would say it already has been. Suspicion can slide into paranoia, conspiracy theories, and widespread distrust of important institutions. What if we viewed documentaries less suspiciously? What if we viewed them like we would an essay or an opinion piece? What if we viewed them as attempts at persuasion? Did Stephen Avery murder Teresa Halbach? I'm not sure. But after watching Making a Murderer, I have a pretty good idea about what the filmmakers think about the topic. Well, perhaps this is all a difference without a distinction, but maybe documentarians aren't trying to fool you. Maybe they're just trying to convince you.